Hello, peoples of the internet. I am doing this video for the second time. So there is something about this time period and about electronics not going as planned, or even what we tried to plan not going as planned. And the other thing I know about, which is like a Mercury retrograde, but I don't even think we're in a Mercury retrograde, but it's like we've been in the longest Mercury retrograde of our lives. It's like it started in, I don't know, November or December last year, and it's not stopped. So in a Mercury retrograde, everything that can go wrong will go wrong. So it does feel like we're in that kind of a time right now. And I can tell the key is to slow down into these spaces and to take our time and to love ourselves as we go through them. And so I am going to try to do that as I redo this video. The first time I had Evie in the room, but she was scratching the door to get out. So I had to let her out. So I guess we don't have any animal energy for this clearing. And the other thing that I notice about cacauphany when you're doing healings is that typically that means that there's something important to come out, that this universe or the dark beings or the shadow energy in this universe is trying to collapse or prevent from taking place or taking action or from being shared. And so what I note about those spaces, like I don't fear those spaces at all. I just note them, and then I know that what I'm doing and what I'm sharing is important. And then I make a bigger note, like this needs to come out. I need to share this. Like I'm going to impart this no matter what. And so that's what we're going to do today. So what I am actually sharing today is being a chosen one. So what I'm going to talk about is information that came in last fallish. And I was working with a client who had her friend's stuff in her garage, and she was telling a story about how all of her stuff was on the bottom and all her friend's stuff was on the top, and how her friend's stuff was in pristine condition and all of her stuff was, getting destroyed by, mice, and was in terrible condition. And she was really complaining about this friend being a real biatch. And she was saying, she was supposed to pay me. She was supposed to come get this stuff, but she hasn't. And I'm over here taking care of it. And she's, an asshole and all this stuff. And the Godsource said, wait a minute, Lisa. She chose to put her boxes on the bottom and her friends on top. She's the one that's doing this to herself. And I was like, what the? True. And so I said to her, here you are over here complaining about someone else, but you're the one that's doing this to yourself. You made the choice to put your friend first. You have all her stuff up there in pristine order, and you're not taking care of your own stuff. Like really, in reality, it should be her stuff at the top in pristine order. But why is she doing this? Because in our past histories, we were taught to put other people first. We were taught that it was loving to take care of other people to the detriment of yourself. And in a lot of ways, we were taught that that's sort of like the Christian thing to do, was that you put other people first. And in reality, the slavery matrix is built off of us putting other people above ourselves. And literally in the matrix is people at the bottom, people on top of them, people on top of them, and the select few at the very top standing on everybody else. So I would wonder why they want to teach us to put other people above ourselves. The other thing we do when we put other people above ourselves is we neglect our own self. We neglect our own story. We neglect our own reality. We neglect our own care. And that's what keeps us stuck and stagnated. That's what keeps us from growing. That's what keeps us from knowing who am I. And that's the question of the universe. That's the question that the Godsource asked itself before it created life, before it created this universe, is it asked, who am I and do I actually exist? And when we don't ask ourselves that question, we prevent the growth and expansion, the evolution of this being that you're inside of. And so when we put other people first and we worry about them first, then we think that we're, doing something loving, but we're not doing anything loving to our own selves. And we're not actually doing anything loving to the Mother Earth or to this universe, because this universe wants to expand. It doesn't want to get stuck in a looping. It literally is the Ouroboros, which is the snake eating its own tail. And remember, I was saying a couple videos ago, the natural mode of this universe is a corkscrew. It's a 3D corkscrew. It's not a 2D circle that's eating its own tail and never changing, never being freed. And how does the Ouroboros get freed? It lets go of its own tail and it slithers away. It has completion. And so how we have completion is that we enter ourselves and we tend to and take care of our own selves. So the Godsource was telling me around this time period about chosen ones. And in the Bible, the chosen ones are like Jesus, and Noah, and plenty of other beings in the Bibles. And the Godsource said, how do you think they became chosen? And I was like, I don't know, they were special to the Godsource? The Godsource said, no, that's a lie. That's an illusion. How you become chosen? You choose yourself. So when you choose your own self first, you become a chosen one. It's that simple. And we just didn't know. What does that mean? That means that I choose myself first and I put my boxes at the top of the garage. Now I don't wait for someone to come and allow me to take care of myself. I decide, I give myself the permission to take care of my own self first. And that's what we've been missing in our growth and expansion processes. And people are like, oh, that's selfish. No, that's not selfish. That's the natural mode of functioning. That's how we're meant to exist. It's actually a lot more selfish playing out the Ouroboros and staying stagnated in darkness. That's a lot more selfish and a lot more damaging. What we're doing is learning to be selfless, because when you tend to your own self first, you don't leave it for someone else to take care of. But when no one's tending to their own selves first, everyone else has to take care of everyone else, and we're doing it wrong. That's a reversal. We're not meant to do it that way. That's what keeps us stuck and stagnated and in toxic dynamics with one another, codependency, where we're all depending on each other to save us, and we're not learning to save ourselves. Now, why would a slavery matrix want you to stay stuck and stagnated? Because that's how it exists. That's how it continues to feed. That's how it gets its feeding. When we begin to take care of our own selves first and we free our own selves first, that's where we come into freedom and we exit the matrix. And it doesn't want that because it stays alive by you staying in it. And we're not meant to. It's a false illusional matrix. It's not our natural mode of functioning. It's a trap. It's a trapping by the pain spaces of God. By what we call the darkness, the shadow, which is literally the pain spaces of God, right? They're places that haven't been brought to the light, right? And it's not my job to bring the darkness to the light. It's my job to bring my own being to the light. It's my job to open up those rooms in my own house. It's my job to tend to my own pain spaces first. It's my job to learn to take care of me first and not expect it to come from the external realm and wonder why I'm not being taken care of. And that was the other thing the Godsource was showing me in that time period, is it was showing me that we have this belief system inside, and the belief system is, oh, the other shoe's going to fall. We're just waiting for the other shoe to fall. Oh, I'm just going to take these crumbs because I always get crumbs. Like, this is the way my life is. It always works out this way. I just get crap all the time. My friends treat me like crap. I just have to, my boyfriend treats me like crap. My job treats me like crap. I just have to take the crap. You're a creator being. When you say that your whole existence is crap and you're only ever going to receive crap, you're literally going to create that in front of you. That's what you're going to create. More crap. But when you say to yourself, that's a bunch of baloney, that's a bunch of crap, that isn't even true, then you begin to take back your own power. You choose you. And you say, no, I am deserving and worthy of receiving goodness. And I am going to create goodness in my own existence because this is my creation, bitch. And I'm going to create goodness. I'm a free will being and I am the creator of my own existence and I get to choose what I create. And I collapse those old programs, those old belief systems, those old modes of existing because I'm not doing that anymore. The Godsource told me at this time period that you are a magician. You are magic. You are the magician. So a lot of us were told that we were stupid and dumb and all these things. And it said, like, literally, Lisa, when you were a child, you wore a dunce cap. You know, if you know what a dunce cap is, it's like this pointy cap that they used to put on the head of children in schools. They literally put this on kids in school and they were like, you're a dunce, you're stupid, you're dumb, right? And probably most of those kids were just, weren't tended to, right? They weren't taken care of in a way they needed to be taken care of. And they weren't able to thrive in the way that they were able to thrive, or they had learning disabilities, or they were possibly neurodivergent, or they were suffering at home and didn't give a shit about what they were learning because they were trying to survive. Either way, it was super, super destructive and cruel, you know. Probably most of those kids needed more love, not attack and bullying. Now, in the past, they thought if you were mean to someone, that gives them that fire to do better in their life. And that's why most of us have programs running inside of us where we're extremely mean to ourselves. Thinking if I'm mean to myself, then I'm going to do better, right? If I tell my things like I'm always going to get garbage and just settle with the garbage, you know, and wait for the other foot to fall and you're just a dumb idiot and you're fat and disgusting, you know, whatever we're telling ourselves, we're thinking that that's going to give us fire to do better. What? No, what we're not doing is choosing our own selves first and loving ourselves in those spaces and loving ourselves harder in those spaces because obviously we suffered at some point or somebody suffered who taught us this shit. You can tell I'm fired up because I'm swearing more. And this is really common for me. People that know me know that this is kind of what happens with me when I'm emphasizing. And so if you're being affected by it, just alchemize that out of yourself. Just neutralize, harmonize, and alchemize it out of yourself. Because I'm just doing it for emphasis. I am not doing anything to harm. Okay. So, and it's part of who I am, and I have a right to be in my truth, and I have a right to access words that work for me and to emphasize in ways that work for me. So let's make peace with that space and receive the message. So becoming a chosen one. Right? Choosing your own self first, loving yourself into wholeness, collapsing those internal record players that are somebody else's voice. That's not even your voice. And that's the other thing of this time period. We're discerning which voice is mine, and that's not your voice. That's a playing tape, and I can choose to listen to it or I can choose not to listen to it because there's another voice that we don't listen to as much that's saying, I love you. You're awesome and amazing. You got this. You're a chosen one because I'm choosing you. We came here to choose our own selves. You're special because I say you're special. I say I'm special, so I'm special, and I don't care what anybody else says. I have the right to choose me first. Only you are going to choose you first. It's not other people's job to choose you. It's your job to choose yourself. And when you begin to choose yourself and believe in yourself as a creator being, your particle begins to collapse the waves in front of you where you're chosen, where you're tended to, where you're taken care of, where beautiful things begin to happen, not the crap that you were creating with your mind. And thinking that you were deserving and worthy of crap because you're playing tapes inside your head that say that to you. No, I'm not doing that anymore. I'm done that now. I collapse that back to dust. So the Godsource said, Lisa, that was never a dunce cap that they put on your head. And the reason I had a dunce cap on my head is because of the way I spoke. And I speak differently than other people. Even words don't come to me the same way. I have to retrieve words in a different way than other people do. And that's part of my neurodivergence. I receive information in packages. I don't just go to my brain and pick it out like some people do. I receive in packages. And some of the questions I was asking didn't make sense to the people around me, so they thought I was stupid. But that doesn't make me stupid. That makes me different. And the other reason people thought I was stupid when I was a child is because I asked a lot of questions. And actually, intelligent people ask questions, but in a slavery matrix where they don't want you to ask questions, they're going to make it seem like asking questions is bad or stupid or dumb. Or if I'm asking them a question they can't answer, they're going to feel dumb and they're going to tell me to shut up because they don't like feeling dumb. But that doesn't make you dumb. That makes you curious. And the Godsource once told me that there's two parts of the universe that are always dancing together. Curiosity and the unknown. And that's what creates evolution. Right? Discovery is in the middle, I guess. Right? Curiosity it's a growth enhancing quality. Right? And even if you don't have the answer, it's good to ask the question, because what I found over time is if I ask a question, the answer always comes. And I don't ask it in the external realm anymore. I ask it to the Godsource. I ask it inside of myself. I say, oh, that's a really good question. I wonder what the answer is. And then within a short amount of time, the answer comes to me. And I'm like, oh yeah, thank you so much, because I love to find answers. I used to chase answers in the past. I don't chase answers anymore. I allow natural curiosity to arise and natural answers to arise. And that's me not doing so much production and force and like, I have to be smart. I have to know. No, I don't. I need to know what comes up in this existence to be known, or the questions that are asked to find the answers for this human that I'm inside of in this lifetime. I love it when people ask questions. That's amazing to me. That's when the answers come. So that's a good thing, right? So the Godsource said, that's no dunce cap, Lisa. That's a magician's cap. You've been wearing a magician's cap your whole life. It's been hiding underneath the dunce cap. And I took that role. I was like, okay, yeah, I'm dumb. Because when people thought I was dumb, they didn't think I was a threat. When they thought I was dumb, they didn't hurt me. They just kind of laughed and walked away. And I didn't mind. I hid underneath of the dunce cap. But now I'm realizing I'm no dunce. I'm a magician. I'm a fucking magician, friend. Right? What does that mean? That means that I get to create my own existence. That means when I slow down enough to get to know who I am and listen to my center of self and follow my own path and listen to my choices and be guided by the Godsource and be guided by my higher self, my soul, when I tend to my human and allow my creativity to come, I begin to alter the particle. And when I alter the particle, then I create the wave collapses to what I'm creating in my particle. And that's how I'm a magician. So when I believe I'm a chosen one, when I believe that I can have a beautiful existence, when I begin to take steps toward that beautiful existence, and that's another video I did. You can go back and listen to it about your right to your steps. I'm just moving my finger on the bottom of the phone so that the sound comes in well. When I have the courage to take my own steps forward, to believe in myself, to have my own back, to collapse the fear program to the unknown, and I begin to access my own choices, and I begin to support myself in my choices, knowing that I am a chosen one. I believe in myself. My job is to believe in myself. My job is to believe in myself and take my steps forward and not need anybody else to believe in me, because I'm mothering my own self first, right? That's the chosen one. I'm mothering me first. I'm taking care of me first. I'm tending to me first, right? Put your own mask on first. That's the airplane, right? When there's an accident happening, put your own mask on first. Don your own mask first is what they say, right? Why? Because you can't take care of other people if you haven't been taking care of yourself. You have to take care of yourself to be able to survive so that you can help other people, right? You don't take care of other people first to the detriment of yourself. You take care of yourself first, and then you caretake the external realm. This thing is the reversal, and it's a lie. This is the true way of existing. In, then out. That's how you act in alignment. That's how you check into your own center point of reference and make choices from that space, which are in alignment with yourself and alignment with the universe. That's how I take care of the universe. I have to listen to my own choices, not the head. The head's going to be like, oh, do this because somebody said you should, or you're so dumb, or why are you doing that, or you should become a doctor and not an artist. Unless you want to be a doctor, go ahead. But if you want to be an artist, go ahead. It's not about the head. The head's going to lead you off path. That's a separation consciousness. You're going to drop in and become the magician. And when you act out of alignment, the Godsource has your back. The universe has your back. When you make conscious decisions, the universe will have your back. It will assist you in the decisions that you make. You're going to, they call that, the Godsource told me at one point in time, that's the Holy Spirit, right? That's the assistance of the Holy Spirit. They call it the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. The Father, the Godsource, the Son, you are birthed of the Godsource. You're a part of the Godsource. And the Holy Spirit is the part of God that pushes you, right? It floats you there. Literally, they call it a spirit, like a ghost. And some people in the past call it the Holy Ghost. Why do they call it the ghost? Because when you pick up your feet and you stop fighting it and you make a conscious choice, it will float you there. It will take you right there. That's the magician. You're just going to float right there, right? Because you're choosing your own self first. You're loving yourself into wholeness, and you're going to take care of you first. You're not going to wait for someone to come and do it, which is never going to happen. You're your own savior. You're going to do it for your own self first, and you're not going to worry about everybody else. Everybody else can do it for their own self first. And when we're all doing it for our own self first, then we all get there together, side by side. Nobody's taking care of everybody else. Everybody's taking care of themselves. When we all take care of everybody else first, we get that, the Ouroboros, where we get entitlement, right? Enabling. We get the slavery matrix program of entitlement and enabling, and we get sickness, more sickness, because nobody's acting from alignment. They're all acting from the shoulds of the head and what we've been taught and what we've been told, and the programs of the slavery matrix, which is sickness. How do I free myself? I become a chosen one. I choose me first, right? And I begin to create a beautiful existence in front of me by becoming a chosen one, by taking care of me first, by making choices from the soul. Selfish people aren't taking care of their own self first. Selfish people are going out here first and doing whatever the hell they want to them in order to get what they want. It's a reversal. So taking care of your own self first is not selfish. It's actually the exact opposite. You're doing work that somebody else doesn't have to do now. And you're doing it from an alignment with the universe, with the Godsource. And only I can choose my own self first. It's an internal job. And You were chosen to come in here. The Godsource chose you, all of us. As soon as we got in here, the Godsource chose you. You were already chosen. You were chosen from birth. Right? So you're already chosen. But now the question is, am I going to choose myself? Am I going to be special to myself? Right? Am I going to choose to take care of my own self first? Am I going to don my own mask first? Am I going to believe I'm worthy and deserving of being chosen and taking care of my own self first? Yeah. Yeah. And then I'm going to drop that old hat, and then I'm going to become the magician. I'm no longer the dunce. Now I'm the magician. Right? I create my own existence, and my thoughts change my particle, and my particle collapses the wave in front of me. And only I can clear my own programs so that I can access that magic inside of me, which is alignment. You can create the old way of manifesting was up through the head down, right? Which is parasitical. And you can do that, but that's not in alignment. And it works in the slavery matrix. That's why, a lot of terrible people have money and cars and, all those things. And people are like, yeah, but he's a horrible human. Like, why does he have all that and I have nothing? Because he's parasitical, and because he's creating the parasitical way, right? And he's thriving by standing on people and standing on people and standing on people. And you're a good-hearted, compassionate, loving human being that's letting people stand on you. And you're on the bottom, getting suffocated with asthma and back problems and headaches and foot problems. How do you get out of that? You choose your own self first. I'm not doing that anymore. I'm done. Get off of me. What the hell was I doing? That doesn't get me anywhere. It gets me squished, right? It gets me sick and squished. Is that the way I want to exist? Heck no. Nope, not me. I'm chosen. I'm going to choose me. I'm going to choose me first. And in choosing me, I'm choosing this universe. I'm choosing the planet, the plants, the animals, the air, the earth, the water. When I choose from my center of self, I'm choosing all of them in alignment, because the Godsource never makes a choice that isn't right for all things. And how do I access that choice? From the center of me. Otherwise, we're doing that external point of reference, and we're brains trying to be like, what's right for them? What's right for them? What's right for them? I got to do what's right for everybody else, or I'm never going to be loved. Yeah, because you're neglecting loving your own self first. And when you love your own self first, you'll find those answers inside. It's the magic. Okay, so I'm going to clear all of those programs from our mind, body, spirits, and souls so that it becomes easier for us to start to give ourselves the permission to take care of our own self first, to look inside your own self first. And actually, right before this, I'm going to add an extra piece to this that's been coming in this time period about stories. And I may have touched on this in another piece of information, but I'm going to touch on it here. And what it said is, in the past, we were focusing on other people's stories. So how were they seeing me in their story? And then I was trying to control how they were seeing me in their story. And I'm like, don't see me like that. That's not me. Like, you don't understand. And we would try to over explain, and we would pander to them. We would people please. We would do all the things they need us to do, hoping that they would change their version of us in their story. What a waste of your precious life force frequency. It's limited. It's a precious resource, and you're wasting it on an impossibility that you can't even do. I need to focus on my story. And when I'm focusing on everybody else, I'm bypassing my story. What's my story? Who am I? How do I appear in my own story? right? That they're like, you're mean, because I'm saying no. In my story, I'm actually standing in my power and I can get behind that and I know who I am. And I see how your story is. You're having a tantrum. Watch the tantrum program, right? They're tantruming and it's not my job to do anything about it, but it is my job to stay in alignment, to say no, to walk away. And I can be proud of myself and my own story. I don't have to change their story. I have to focus on my story first. I choose me first. I choose my own story first. And when the head tries to come in, that little broken man tries to come in inside of you, the separated self, the part of you that's programmed. You're mean. You should just give them what they want. Shut up. Get out of here. I'm supporting my own self first. I don't have to listen to you. I'm not listening to you. You're not helpful. You're a record player. You're a shadow record player. You're somebody else's voice and you're not mine. And I get to choose what I listen to and I'm not listening to that. I'm the damn magician, friend. Right? So Source God Mother, I acknowledge and accept everything that we're speaking of so far today. That's reminding me of being a chosen one and that I make myself a chosen one. When I chose me, I become a chosen one. I become special to me. The Godsource already chose me. When I came in here, I was already chosen, right? And now I'm waiting for the humans to choose me. It ain't going to happen, friend. You're going to be in that victim mentality for the rest of your life. Bad things happen to me. Oh, that friend, what a bitch. You know, she left her shit here and all my stuff's on the bottom getting trashed. I did that to myself. I can put myself up. I can take care of my own self first. Does that make me a bad friend? No, that makes me a loving human to myself. That makes me special to myself. That makes me caretaking my own self so somebody else doesn't have to come and caretake me and I'm not blasting off at someone else because I think it's all their fault and waiting in that Ouroboros of waiting for someone to stop treating me like trash. No, I'm going to stop treating myself like trash. And then when I stop treating myself like trash and I start to caretake me first and I start to love myself into wholeness and give myself safety and listen to my own center point of reference, then nobody else has to do it. I've already done it for myself. It's my job to make my own self sparkle. We're all here and we're all here to make our own self sparkle. When my flower sparkles, then no one else has to do it. They're here to make their own self sparkle, their flower sparkle. If I'm over here trying to make their flower sparkle the whole time, who's doing my flower? No one. So now someone has to come and do my flower, like my children. What? No, that's the slavery matrix. That's codependence. That's toxic. Those are the old modes of functioning. Those are the toxic dynamics of the old way of existing, including beating ourselves up. That's a toxic dynamic. And it's an internal toxic dynamic. And I'm not doing it. I'm done. I choose to love myself into wholeness. I'm not listening to that voice. I'm a magician. I'm not a dunce. I get to collapse the dunce cap and become the magician. I get to choose how I create my future. I am a creator being. And even if I'm unconsciously creating with these old programs, I'm still creating, but I'm creating crap. So I can create crap all day long, but look at the crap we're in as a human collective. Do we want to keep creating this crap that's literally leading us into death? Ecocide? I don't think so, friend. I'm going into expansion. I'm going to heal my own self first. I'm going to see who I am. I'm going to do the God path of who am I. I'm going to take care of my own story first. I'm going to ask me, what is my story? Who do I want to be in my own story? Can I get behind who I am in my story? I deserve love in pain places and I can love myself first. And I want that and I choose that. And please help me with this. And please clear, cleanse, and heal those old mindsets, those old modes of functioning, those old ways of existing, internal dynamics, external dynamics, contracts, binds, barriers, anchors, frozen pain spaces in the body. These are wounds of the back of the head as well. So these are reptilian brain. This is the old way of being in the reptilian self. It's literally, if you look up science, it's called the reptilian brain. And in the reptilian brain, you're basically living in fight, flight, freeze, and fawn. It's about eating, sex, peeing and pooping. It's the automatic things that a human does. And when you're just that, you're an automaton. You're not a real live living human being that has emotions, which is the next part of the brain, or really using that frontal cortex. And the frontal cortex is our consciousness. It's how we become conscious beings. And we use the consciousness to heal the emotion, so that we begin to make conscious choices. And I have to choose my own self first to begin to access this mode of functioning, of tending to my own self first. And God, please help me with this. And please help me to clear those old programs from my mind, body, spirit, and soul, past the DNA and RNA and into the God space of first creation, including collapsing this old DNA and RNA, disintegrating it back to dust, and initiating the new, so that and reconfiguring that new unique blueprint for each unique self. Clearing, cleansing, and healing all drama, karma, trauma, pulling out the dharma, neutralizing, purifying, clearing, cleansing, and healing from the cellular, energetic, and magnetic structures, and from the subconscious, unconscious, and conscious minds, pulling all of this through to oneness, to wholeness, to peace, to truth, to love. Welcoming those helper frequencies and those helper beings to continue to help me to heal these spaces and access these spaces, and to choose myself first and begin to act from choosing my own self, which means slowing down. That means accessing the sacred feminine. I have to slow down enough to love myself into wholeness, to give myself safety, to not engage the program, the fight, flight, freeze, and fawn, which is an automatic program. That's that reptilian brain. I'm not playing automatic programs. I'm done that now. I don't get soothing from the outside world. I don't get healing from the outside world. I don't get my needs met from the outside world. I get it met from inside. And when I begin to do it inside, when I become whole inside, when I free my own self to meeting my own needs first, then my needs will always be met. And it'll be me meeting them. And yeah, maybe I need help in the outside world sometimes. When I'll ask for help. And if I don't get it there, I'll ask someone else. And if I don't get it there, I'll ask somewhere else until I get my help that I need. But it's still me doing it. I am doing that. I'm the one asking for help. I'm the one that's finding the person. I'm the one that's helping myself to get helped. That's me still being a chosen one and doing it for me first, and knowing that I deserve a golden existence in front of me. I deserve to create a happy existence. I deserve to create a life where I'm in a state of regulation, peace, comfort, and to a great degree, joy. And joy isn't what we think it is. Enjoyment. Enjoy it, right? It means to be in a state of peace, to be in a state of regulation. And I deserve that. And I'm not just going to put up with crumbs and wait for someone to finally not give me crumbs. I'm going to be the one that's not going to give me crumbs. I'm the one that's going to give me the whole cake, And I don't mean eating the whole damn cake. I mean, go ahead if you want to eat that whole damn cake, but you'll probably have a bellyache, right? That's that little self. Give yourself the whole cake. You'll feel better. I don't need to give myself the whole cake, but I need to give myself a slice. I need to actually give myself enough to soothe and heal myself, enough to fully nourish myself. I deserve to be nourished first. I'm going to nourish my own self first. I deserve nourishment. I deserve to create a lifetime of being nourished. And it's me that was always going to nourish me first. And I choose that. And I release through the children and up through the ancestral webs, past lifetimes and their webs, and for the collective universal who are open to it at this time, including all planetary systems and on all sides of the veil, including this universe and the multiverses. And I quantum forgive that we didn't know any better, that we didn't know any different, that we believed this bullshit of the past, that we believed the slavery matrix, that we let people stand on us, that we allowed ourselves to be squished, we allowed ourselves to be pushed into boxes that weren't even ours, that we did this whole program of loving the outside world first, of becoming what they wanted instead of becoming who I truly am, that I didn't even know who I am. I quantum forgive, and forgive some more. That is sickness. And I don't have to live in this sickness anymore. I can begin to live in goodness, health, and wellness. I can enjoy all parts of life. I get to enjoy it, and I enjoy it by alchemizing. I alchemize the discomfort. That's another thing that's coming up right now. Discomfort. We're taking back our power from discomfort. And I'll create another video about that. But like my bangs, that's uncomfortable, but I don't have to give my power to discomfort. I can find comfort even here. I can be safe even here. It's just another human experience. I can love myself in this space. I deserve love even here. I choose my own self first. Only I can give me peace, and I choose to give myself peace and regulation and access my creativity. And laughter. Laughter is the best medicine. I can laugh and it changes the frequency, right? I can have fun. It can be fun. I can prance like a deer. This all comes from the healings that I've been doing. Go watch the videos, right? I quantum forgive, and I quantum purify back to the Godsource origins. And I welcome those healed helpers, those beings of light, those doctors, healers, and nurses in all realms of existence to continue to purify and alchemize these spaces and drop me into those original blueprints, those original codes, and to continue these healings until completed. Thank you for coming to me, and thank you for healing me. Right now, we're really healing that reptilian to the emotion center, to the cognitive front part of the brain, so that we can start to use our whole brain in good ways. God, I want to use my whole brain in good ways. I want to be able to consciously tend to my feeling center so that I can consciously choose what I do with the rest of myself and with the rest of my brain. The Godsource was showing me one time that like reptiles were the first beings, and then from the reptiles, the mammals were the next ones that took over. So we're literally in an evolutionary process of going from the reptilian to the mammalian brain. And the mammalian brain had the emotions, and now we're moving to the frontal of the cognitive brain, right? With cognitive, with emotions, which is how I become the magician. It's how I alchemize myself. It's how I alchemize this particle and collapse the wave in front of me to become what I want to create out of alignment with myself and out of alignment with this universe, the sacred mother. And I want that. God, please help me with this. And I clear all of that. And I give so much gratitude and so much thankfulness to the helper beings that are here with us, helping us, guiding us, loving us. You see those numbers, you're seeing other messages, maybe animals and animal medicine, you're seeing 222, you're seeing messages in movies, you're getting downloads, thank you. Those are the helper beings that are helping us to do this work. We're in the lowest realm. We're in the form realm. We're in the slowest moving realm. We're in the densest realm, right? And they're in a higher realm, and they're helping us to alchemize the denseness of this realm, evolute beyond it, right? And that's part of a living process. And that's what we're doing. That's what you can call awakening, right? And when we do that, we help the planet and the plants, animals, air, earth, water. We help this solar system. We help this galaxy. We help this universe. Yeah, we want that. That's magical as F. That's us being this creator beings and using our life force for magical things, which then makes me into a magical being, which then collapse the timelines in front of me. So more magic begins to be created in my timelines, because those are the timelines that I'm in alignment with. It's like you aim yourself in alignment, right? And those are the timelines I'm in alignment with. Thank you for helping us with this. We need help. Thank you. Thank you for helping. And I invite you to continue to help me, right? And round table with them if you want more help, right? And we clear, cleanse, and that's another video. Watch the other video. I clear, cleanse, and heal all of that now through all quantum fields of existence, and I'm opening to receive for best and highest well-being. With the most ultimate of love and gratitude, I choose this. So I choose this and breathe. And a good etheric breath. And now we're just going to do the energetic cleanses. We're going to have good hygiene, good energetic hygiene. We're going to close it. We're going to give ourselves closure, right? So Source Godmother asks that you immediately evolute my systems for best and highest well-being of the systems within me and the systems around me. And as you do this for me, do it for my whole purification space, as far out as my heart goes, for all the living beings in the giant circle around my heart. I welcome them as well to immediately evolute their bodies for best and highest well-being of the systems within them and the systems around them, including the frequencies of their feet, and really grounding us down into the inside of our feet in a healthy, good way, so that we're in a regulated state, so that we're receiving all the healing, all the information, and all the codes that we need to begin to access our center of selves, so that we can access that creativity. And so that we can choose our own selves first. We need to learn to ground in this way so we can choose our own selves first, because we deserve to be grounded in our own bodies. And we're really grounding our souls into our bodies. So when our souls are grounded into our bodies, then our bodies can access that life force frequency all the way down to the feet. So that's why a lot of people have foot, hip, knee, foot healings are kind of our last set of healings as we really pull the soul into the self. And we're gonna see a lot more miraculous healings of these parts of our bodies, because we're really grounding that life force frequency into our feet and accessing it all the way through our bodies and allowing our bodies to heal themselves. And as soon as we begin to access those healing codes, they begin to heal themselves. So Source Godmother, please root you from my root chakra, from my genital areas, down my legs, through my feet, and into this universe. And through my earth star, through my own self, not through the Mother Earth. I'm not doing that. That's very parasitical. And we're not doing that. Through my own earth star, because that's how I'm meant to connect with the world around me. And as I connect in through my earth star, I open up to sharing life force frequency, healing codes, love, wisdom, knowledge, and I fractalize that through my mind, body, spirit, and soul, so that I can begin to receive miracle frequencies into my body, miracle healings, and miracle options in front of me. Yeah, I want that. See, again, I'm the magician. I can create what I want to. And I clear, cleanse, and heal all of that now through all quantum fields, and I'm open to receive for best and highest well-being. With love and gratitude, I choose this. So I choose this and breathe. Check in with yourself. How you feeling? Are you feeling lighter? Did a bunch of the questions disappear? Do you have more questions? If you have them, put them out to the universe. They will come to you in some form. It will come. If you're feeling dizzy, ground to your feet. Please ground me to my feet. If you're needing extra love, please trigger my vagus nerve now. And if I say that you're not able to trigger your vagus nerve, God, please clear my pathway to my vagus nerve. Please clear my vagus nerve. Please allow my body to connect with my vagus nerve. Please connect my head to my body. So a lot of people that are disconnected at the neck or have never entered the body, never entered their emotion states, never entered their ability to know who they are, heal themselves, heal their bodies, feel their bodies, because they were terrified to enter their bodies as children. And that's what we were taught to do. Most of us are living only in the head, from the head, making separated choices from repetition, from unconscious creation. Look at the mess we've made with unconscious creation. Heck no, I'm not doing that. And I clear those old programs, and I allow my head to be fully connected to my body. And I allow all of the parts of my body to be in connection to my body, so that it can go to the healing center and get the healings that they need, including my head can go to the healing center and get the healings I need. And I'll just throw that out there right now too. A lot of people with allergies right now. And remember, allergies are triggered when we have a fear of the natural kingdom, of the plants, of the trees, of the molds, of the pollen, of the dust. And that's well ingrained in my family system. So it triggers our sinuses are getting triggered. They're triggering the inflammation response. And the histamines are are getting triggered, and that's triggering the inflammation. So I want to speak directly to my sinuses, and no, we're not doing that anymore. We're done that now. That's an old way of existing. I have a right to breathe. I have a right to not be inflamed. No body, don't inflame. And like, I notice glands and the neck get really inflamed with the allergies. And yesterday we had a lot of wind, and I was watching the trees, and it looked like a dust storm, but it wasn't dust. It was that the candle dust that was coming off the trees. It's the trees letting off the pollen so that they can reproduce. And trees have a right to reproduce. They have a right to put pollen off. And we don't have to fear the pollen. That's just its reproductive process, right? Like, I don't have to fear it. I can just let it go out of my body. I can just say, body, don't fear. I'm in no fear to that. I have purification systems within my own body, and my body can purify that. I can let it out in many ways, and I don't even have to receive it. It doesn't have to affect me in any way. I'm not doing that anymore. I'm done. Bones, I'm done. Sinuses, I'm done. Remember, the bones are very stubborn. We have to tell them over and over. I clear this from my cellular and energetic structures. I'm done that now. But you have to ask for it to begin to shift. You have to speak to it first. So start speaking to it and see what happens for yourself. Don't believe me. Try practicing. Right? Don't believe me about being a chosen one. Make yourself a chosen one and see what happens. Don't believe me about the dunce cap and the magician cap. Practice it for yourself. See what happens. I'm here sharing this out of love for my own self first. I'm doing it because it's my purpose, and the Godsource is asking me to do this. So I'm doing it out of love for my own self first. And then I'm secondarily doing it because I love this planet. I love the plants, the animals, the air, the earth, water. I love my children. Right? I love the beauty of this planet, and I'm doing it out of loving the beauty of the planet. That's what I'm doing it secondarily for. Right? And thirdly, hopefully, money. Right? Why? Because there's a lot of beautiful things I want to create in this lifetime. And again, my money isn't coming from my head because I want the mansion and the car. I'm going to create out of alignment with myself. And what am I going to create moving forward? I don't know yet. A part of me wants to create a bakery. I think that would be awesome. I love the idea of bakeries. But outside of that, what am I going to create? Maybe a healing center. I love working with single moms. It's one of the things I love doing. And I would love to do that. I also love to work with youth. So I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to do with it, but I know I'm worthy and deserving of creating it, because if not me, then who? I'm going to do good things with it. I'm worthy and deserving of receiving it. That's me choosing me first and being the magician. I'm not going to wait for someone to give me the permission. I'm going to begin to take the steps forward that I'm meant to take. And if that's part of my return, and it's not even the money, it's the opportunities. It's the ability to create something, right? And in our world, money helps us create things. That if it doesn't have to come through money and I can just create it, I'll do that too. Why not? As a magician, why not? Right? If you don't want the information, don't receive the information. If you want to get it from someone else, go get it from someone else. But I'm not going to stop, because it's my purpose. I'm a chosen one. I choose me first. Okay. Awesome. Let me know how that went for you. Let me know how that goes. And I will love you and leave you. I hope you have a beautiful day. I hope you find all the peace that you're looking for. I hope you're able to stop and love yourself into wholeness. And until next time, lots of love. Take care.